Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. In today's class, I will animate the low poly car that I designed in the last class and create a road for it to drive on. If anyone missed the previous class where I modeled the low poly car, they can watch it by clicking the link in the description or the link above. So without wasting any time, let's get started with today's class. The front wheels are joined together and the back wheels are also joined together. So I will separate all the wheels. To separate the wheels, I will go into edit mode, select one wheel, press P and click on selection. I will repeat this process for back wheels. After separating, I will rename them accordingly. The car is slightly above the origin, so I will select all parts and move them along the z-axis until the wheels touch the line. After that, I will press Ctrl plus A to apply transforms to all parts. After that, I will move the origin of all the wheels to their center. Since I need to rotate the wheels around their local axis, their origin should be at their center. Now I will select all parts, and once they are all selected, I will click on the main body part again to make it the active object. Then I will press Ctrl plus P, making the main body part the parent of all the other parts. This means that if I move the body part, all other parts will move as well. Now I will create an empty object and make it the parent of the body. This means that when I move the empty, the main body part will also move. And since all other parts are children of the main body part, they will move as well. This way, moving the empty will move the entire car. Now we need to set it up so that when we move the empty object along the y-axis, the wheels will also rotate. To do this, we will add drivers to the wheels. I will select a wheel, and since the wheels need to rotate along the x-axis, I will right click on the x-axis rotation, click add driver and pick the empty object in the object section. After that, I will right click again and go to the edit driver option. Here under the objects option, there will be a type section where currently X is selected. This means that if we move the empty along the x-axis, the wheel will rotate. Currently moving the empty along the y-axis does not rotate the wheel. However, we want the wheel to rotate when we move the empty along the y-axis. So in this option, I will select Y instead. Now when I move along the y-axis, the wheel will rotate. However, there is another issue. When I move the empty object forward, the wheels rotate backward. And when I move it backward, the wheels rotate forward. To fix this, I will go into the driver setting and add a negative value here. This way, moving the empty object forward will make the wheels rotate forward, and moving it backward will make the wheels rotate backward. Now I will copy this driver and paste it into the other wheels. You might notice that the wheel's rotation is not proportional to the car's movement. If you want to increase the wheel's speed, you can multiply by 2, which will double the speed. Now you can see that I increased the speed for the front wheel's driver, so it rotates at double speed, while the back wheel rotates slowly. I think double speed is too much, so I will change it to multiply by 1.5. Now the wheel's rotation matches the distance covered. Now I will copy this driver and paste it into the other wheels. This way, all the wheels will have the same rotation speed. Next, I will design the road. For that, I will add a plane and scale it. After scaling, I will apply the transforms, then I will add an edge loop in the center and delete half of the plane. After that, I will extrude this edge along the z-axis and then along the x-axis to design the footpath. To round this edge, I will select it and press Ctrl plus B to bevel it, and to add more segments, scroll the mouse wheel. Then I will apply the mirror modifier and extrude this edge along the z-axis to design the fence part. Now I will add some edge loops and select the fence part, press P to separate it, and do the same for the footpath. I will rename the fence part as fence and apply a wireframe modifier to it. This will create the design of simple fence. The sides of the fence are open, so I will check the boundary option in the wireframe settings to close the sides. After that, I will apply the road materials to the road. You can import your own road textures and create a material if you prefer, but I will use the Blender Kit add-on. I will search for road here. By clicking on the material, road related materials will appear. I will click and drag one of these materials onto the road and release the click to apply the material to the road. To install the Blender Kit add-on, go to your browser and search for Blender Kit add-on. On the first website, you can download it for free and install it. I will also add the link to this website in the description. You can click on that link to visit the website and download the add-on. The tiling of the road texture on the plane is not correct. First I will apply the mirror modifier, then I will unwrap it. I will open a new window and open the UV editor in it. In edit mode, I will select all faces of the plane and press U to unwrap them. After unwrapping, the texture should align properly on the plane. If the road texture is not correctly straight, I will rotate it 90 degrees in edit mode to ensure the road part aligns correctly. Now I will search for a concrete material and apply it to the footpath. I will also add some edge loops to the road so that the edge loops are equal according to the footpath. So if we need to curve or bend the road later, it will not cause any issue with the road and the footpath later. Next, I will click on objects in the Blender Kit and search for a street light. There are various street lights models available, some of which are paid and some are free. I will add a free street light object to the scene for now. Now I will place the street light on the footpath and resize it. Then I will add a spotlight. Before adding the light, I will move the 3D cursor to the position where the light should be placed. So that when I add the light, it will be exactly where the light should be. After that, I will make the spotlight a children of the street light object so that if I duplicate the street light, the spotlight will duplicate with it, and I will not have to position the spotlight repeatedly. Now I will duplicate the street light and bring it to this side, then rotate it 180 degrees. Next I will add spotlight in position of the headlights. and make these two lights children of an empty object. When I move the empty object, these lights will move as well. I will apply a black material to the fence object. After that, I will add fog to the scene. To add fog, I will add a cube and scale it according to where I want the fog to be present. After scaling, I will go to the object properties and in the viewport display section, I will enable bounds to show only the bounding box outline of the cube in the viewport. This way, the object will not disturb while working. For the fog, I will select the cube and create a material. Instead of BSDF shader, I will add a volume scatter shader. Then I will adjust the density and color according to my requirements. Right now we are not seeing the fog properly because the intensity of the lights in the scene is quite low. I will select the light and increase the intensity so that the fog or fog effect becomes visible. I will change the intensity of all the lights and if needed, I will also adjust the density of the fog material. Then I will select the road, footpath and fence and join them together. I will undo the previous action with Ctrl plus Z, apply the modifiers to the fence object and then select everything again and join them together. Now it is a single object. I will add an array modifier to it. In the settings, I will set the x value to 0 and adjust the y value. The y value should be such that the vertices at the ends of the two objects are very close. And by checking the merge option, should merge them. If they are still don't merge, you can adjust the merge distance value to ensure they are merged properly. After that, I will increase the count value in the array modifier to make the road longer. Then I will select the street lights, duplicate them with Shift plus D and repeat this process with Shift plus R. Once the road is as long as I need it to be, I will add animation to the car. For that, I will select the empty object, go to the first keyframe and add a keyframe by pressing I. Then at frame 250, I will move the empty object along the y-axis. Go back to this position and add a keyframe by pressing I. Now that the car animation is added, I will select the frames of the car's motion, press T and select linear to ensure that the car moves at a constant speed from start to end. I will also brighten up the environment color a bit. As you can see, the rotation of the wheels does not seem correct. Perhaps the drivers added to them are not functioning properly for some reason. First, I will add a camera. From the camera view, we will get a better look at the wheel rotation. Now that the camera is added, to align the camera view with the scene view, I will select the camera and press Ctrl plus Shift plus numpad 0. This will set the camera view according to the scene view. I will add a track to constraint to the camera and pick the car as the target object. This way, the camera will track towards the car's direction wherever it goes. Now, if you view from the camera perspective, you can clearly see that the wheel's rotation is not correct. To resolve the issue, first I will remove the drivers from all the wheels. Then I will reset rotation of all the wheels to 0. After that, I will add the same drivers again as we did before. You can see that the wheel I added the driver to is rotating correctly now. I will copy this driver and paste it onto the other wheels. Now all the wheels rotations should be correct. I will quickly add the ground to the scene by adding a plane and applying a grass material to it. Then using an array modifier to make it longer. Now that everything required is complete, I will render the scene and animation. I hope today's session has been clear and you have learned something. If you have any suggestions, feel free to share them. See you in the next class with a new tutorial. Until then, goodbye and take care.